But welcome, thank you all so much for joining us today. This is our second webinar in our series of bite-sized webinars focusing on content marketing in the legal sector. We had a really good response from our first webinar, so it's really exciting to be back, and I'm really glad to see that quite a lot of you from last time have come along again today. So I'm Lindsay, I'm content specialist at Today's Media, and we are the publishers for Today's Conveyancer, Today's Wills and Probate, and Today's Family Lawyer. And we're experts in communicating for and on behalf of the legal sector, especially when it comes to content. And today is really exciting because even though it's just our second webinar, I've got bagged myself a super exciting guest, and joined today by Rich Dibbins from Stakston Digital. Rich has got 20 years experience, have you, Rich, in the legal sector?
10 years in legal and about 20 years in sales and marketing and digital.
Great. So and obviously with that 10 years in legal, he's really enthusiastic about all aspects of digital marketing and believes that law firms should have the opportunity to market their business, whatever their budget. What's that?
Absolutely. Definitely.
So for the past 9 years, he's been presenting at legal events, as well as doing lots of in-house coaching around the UK and Europe. And he's also a LinkedIn coach to the legal sector, so knows his stuff. So get ready for some great takeaways from his chat. He's going to be talking about how to build a 5-star LinkedIn profile, building connections, and just some general day-to-day tips to make LinkedIn work better for you. Is there anything else you want to add to that, Rich?
I've launched an online digital marketing course aimed at law firms. It went live today, Novum Learning. Go to my LinkedIn profile. You'll see the link, or stakstondigital.com. So shameful plug, but it went live today. So I'm very excited about that. So
no, plug away. I saw that. That's really exciting, isn't it?
Anybody new to digital and you're looking to break into it and understand it better, that course is designed for you.
Yeah, great. Well, I've popped our little LinkedIn handles up there. So if you want to connect with either of us on LinkedIn, then that'd be fab. So I'm going to kick us off today by discussing blogging and focusing on how you can use LinkedIn as a blogging site and give you a few tips around this. But before we just start off, I'd like to say if anyone's got any questions, then if you just pop it in the chat down the side, and then we can answer at the end. Right. Let's crack on and go to the slides. So LinkedIn, a content resource. So I'm sure there's quite a few of us in the room who blog, even if it's just updating your personal social channels with pictures or posts around your home or social life. That's a form of blogging. However, in the business world or the legal world, a blog is a place where you can pull together your thoughts, facts, opinions, and anything around your preferred subject matter. A blog fundamentally engages your audience in what you do and showcases your expertise and credibility on a subject. It's a really great way of promoting your business and showcasing your product with a story. So it's very much tell, not sell. And content, this is obviously a little bit of a recap on the last webinar as well. Content that provides value for your customer base will inevitably strengthen the bond, encourage repeat sales, and further establish your authority later down the line. And apart from the time involved it takes to create these new articles and blogs daily or weekly, however much you want to keep updating it, it's very, very cost effective. And I've pulled together a couple of real world examples here to show you some super engaging blogs from around the business sector. So first, I just want to look at the outdoors company Blacks. They obviously sell lots and lots of outdoors equipment, including everything you'd need for a camping holiday. So their blog features content that's perfectly fits this customer, with content around camping in the pandemic, as you can see here on the screen, or 10 summer campsites for 2021. It's topical, it's relevant, and this original and regular content also means that they're going to rank high in the Google algorithm, as you can see here. All I needed to type in here was camping equipment, and they're third on the list. I hope everyone can see that quite clearly. The second example I've chose to give you is from the legal space, and that's from Law Plain and Simple, Effectively, Law Plain and Simple are a search site. However, their blog for consumers is super simple and easy to read, enabling the consumer to navigate around and find exactly what they need to know, and therefore possibly going to find a solicitor within that area of expertise on that site because they found out what they needed to know from that site. So these are just a few examples from blogs that are housed on websites. However, I'm here today to focus on LinkedIn blogging and the benefits of it. So gone are the days when LinkedIn was used to upload your CV, find the perfect candidate for a role. I'm sure Rich will agree, and he'll come on to more of this later, but LinkedIn's used for so much more these days, isn't it, Rich?
Absolutely. Yeah. Plethora of information on there.
Yeah. And not a lot of people know, but it's also a really great publishing site and it's completely free. So possibly somebody in the room are probably saying, but why bother using LinkedIn to publish my content when I've got my own blog? What's the point? Well, LinkedIn publishing gives you the opportunity to write and share content that builds your credibility and trust in what you do. And LinkedIn also gives you access to people who are looking for experts in certain areas, meaning you can build your client list and grow your legal business. And by publishing on the platform, it'll also mean that you will show up in the search when people are looking for an expert within that particular field. So when I'm talking about the search, I mean the LinkedIn search. And unless you have a pretty established blog on your website, it's more likely that you're going to get more traffic and people reading your content on LinkedIn than you are going to get to your own website. It's also far easier to engage with a LinkedIn blog. You can comment easily on the blog, and you can directly speak to the author in real time. Whereas on a website, if you try and comment on the blog, you're going to be taken off to possibly another tab or an email, and it's just not very engaging because it's not in real time. It's also a great way to share something personal about your work, and this kind of content is really shareable. People like sharing content that's written by people, and people like engaging with content when it's written by real people. So I've got a really good example of this. So Tom Lees, who is our Director of Engagement at Today's Media and Lawyer Checker, some of you may have heard of him. He's basically buying in the experience at the moment of buying his first home. So he's been blogging all about the joys of buying his first house, and he's been doing this on LinkedIn. And obviously with Tom's connections in the conveyancing sector, it's created lots and lots of engagement, as you can see. So this is just one of his blogs that he's entitled Part 3, Conveyancing and Banks, because I think he's a little bit further down the line now, and he's just getting lots of engagement around it. So it just shows to show you when you're populating it with relatable content, you can just strike up a conversation with your connections. Because it's also a publishing site, it's got SEO benefits. If you're producing unique and bespoke content for your firm, the SEO benefits are superb. If you create an article and link it back to your website, that counts as a backlink, which improves your Google ranking. However, even if your content isn't unique to you, consistently updating your LinkedIn blog will consistently establish your credibility, expertise, and show that you're up to date with things that are going on in the sector. So I'm going to give you a little overview of how to do it. So it's quite simple if you know how to do it. So if you can see this here, can you see this quite clearly, Rich? Yeah? Is that all okay? So what you do here is you basically, number one, hit where you can share a post. You can obviously upload a photo, upload a video, an event. And what you would do is just hit the write article button. This then takes you to a form like this where you can input an image, a heading, and an article.
It's got LinkedIn on it and the headline. So I don't know if your browser just needs to change.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just still going into I'm
right.
at the right place yet. Thanks though, Rich. So basically what you would do here is you would create a captivating headline that is going to grab your audience. The The headline needs to be clear, concise, and make people want to read more. If you don't grab them at this headline section, they're probably going to go off, do something else, pop Netflix on, who knows. Number 3, the best thing to do is pop in a really strong eye-catching image. It's probably good to title your image with the headline of your piece so that when it shows up in your news feed on LinkedIn, it's there and it will grab people's attention right there. You can do this in things like Canva, Photoshop. Also, another great tip with LinkedIn images is the size. If you stick with 700px in width, and then the height can vary depending on your image. Number 4, which is probably the most useful thing here, is that the content needs to be useful and readable. And obviously having the time to write this usable and readable articles and having the writing skills to do this is really beneficial here. So a few tips around this would be, when you're thinking about your audience, is what challenges do your audience face? What pain points could you address for your audience? Can you give them a solution to these pain points or challenges? And what tips or knowledge can you share with them? So a little bit of an example here from what we do for our clients is we offer things like LPA checklists, how to add value to your home, or information about family mediation. That's another example. And number 5, a really good way of getting people to speak to you is having a really strong call to action. So this can either be asking them to comment on your post, or putting an email or a phone number so they can directly contact you. And then all you need to do is hit publish and it will appear in your newsfeed. So let's have a look how it'll look. So there you go. So that's a little example of what I've done for this webinar. So I've popped in an image, in captivating headline, and then gone into the article. So this is just a little look at what our clients are doing. So today's media, we can obviously assist in blog writing, whether that be on LinkedIn or on your own site. And here's just a few examples of how our clients are utilizing that LinkedIn space. So here's an example from one of our clients using our pre-written content to keep her blog regularly updated with wills and probate articles. And as you can see, she's got a little library of content going off here, which is really good. And then this is another example from one of our clients where they've used some bespoke content. So this kind of unique content would work to engage with a B2B audience. So if you would like to hear more about our bespoke or pre-written article options that start from just £99 per month, I've popped up a little survey in the corner, which I'll do now. And then if you would like to hear more, just hit the survey and I can contact you following the webinar. So let me just share that. That should have popped up now. I'm not sure if you can see that, Rich, to check.
I can see it. Lots of yes, please email me.
Fab. And I will also, I've got a handout that I want to pop up, but I can't seem to figure out how to pop that up at the moment. So I'll share that as Rich is talking. But that's everything from me. So I'll come back at the end and wrap up. But thanks. I'm going to hand over to Rich now to take you into how to build a 5-star LinkedIn profile.
Thank you. Thank you. We had one quick question from Jane. From a technical aspect, do you think Google will mark you down for having duplicate content if the same blog appears on both your corporate website and your corporate article LinkedIn pages? If so, is there a role for canonical tags to prevent that if needed? Would it be an issue? It's not an issue having content in the same places, but what I would say is don't put all the content on LinkedIn that you've got on your website. Otherwise, they've got no reason to go back to your website. So instead, put kind of a slimmed down version, if you will, on LinkedIn on your article with a link to, you know, for further details or to read the expanded blog or news article, come back to our website. Otherwise, they stay in LinkedIn land and they never actually go back to your website. So that's what I would do. make sure it's built in with links in there as well.
Yeah, agree. It's something called, is it called syndicate sharing, right?
Yeah, syndication sharing, yes. But
yeah.
I would never put my entire content within LinkedIn, because I want them to look at my website and see other aspects that they
exactly. It could work as like a kind of a teaser situation.
Exactly that, yes. And touching on the point of your, why put your article on LinkedIn, your law firm's website audience might be in the tens of thousands, if you're lucky. But typically probably a few hundred visitors per week. The audience on LinkedIn is 780 million active users. So that's the audience you're taking. And even if you took a small percentage of that, brought it back to your website, it will throw your analytics through the roof. So that's the main purpose of getting these articles onto LinkedIn, to get a wider audience.
Yeah.
But yes, let's, right. Okay, let me share my screen and we can crack on with the 5-star profile. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to take over on that, Lindsay. And
yeah, no problem.
Here we go. So let me just quickly. So you should all now see the warning minefield sign. Would that be right?
Yeah, I can see that.
Excellent. I can't see the questions because I've got it in this display mode. So if any questions do pop up, Lindsay, if you could just shout them out as you do. So
yeah, I'll get my chat back on. Okay.
Thank you. So my name's Rich Dibbins. I've worked in the legal industry for a little over 9 years now, but within sales and marketing, print, design, IT, all the aspects for that part of the last 20 years. But my passion is within digital, within legal at the moment, and I formed something called Statston Digital in the last 8 months. I do also work with InfoTrack. So anybody conveyances or anything like that, I work with the InfoTrack side of things around their CMS and our CMS partners. Now, in terms of LinkedIn, let's avoid some key mistakes that most people make on LinkedIn when trying to generate business. The first and foremost, spamming or pitching to new prospects. No one likes to be sold to. It's really hard to sell professional services online, especially as soon as you've been introduced to somebody or if you've connected with somebody. Put it in an easier sense, if you met somebody at a networking event, you wouldn't straight away go into a pitch, would you? You would actually build a rapport. You would find out what they like, or how bad the wine is at this networking event or something. Whatever it may be, you build rapport first. So no pitching straight away or trying to sell to them straight away. Also, the third-party tools where you can use automated responses to people. LinkedIn doesn't like this. Even though there's loads of them out there, LinkedIn hates this. It wants this human engagement. Any toxic debates. In the last 6 months, there have been more people banned on LinkedIn than in the last 5 years, because people are making more and more noise because they want attention. Social media is about engagement and attention. But if you see a toxic debate, do not join in with them. For the very simple fact, the moment you join in with them, LinkedIn now thinks that you like this content and will start feeding this type of content to you. Now, if you thrive on drama and you want to be involved in these, then go for it. But it doesn't do your reputation any good as soon as you start being involved in these toxic conversations. So I always tend to stay away from them. Anything that basically is around somebody complaining about their job publicly, religion or politics, those three are a hotbed of toxic conversation, only because you can't win, you can't lose. You just start having a battle with somebody. And lastly, don't just click and send the boring, "Hi, I'd like to add you to my professional network." Nobody would do that in person at an event. You'd always greet yourself, go, "Hi, my name's Rich. What is it you do?" And have a conversation, again, talking about how bad the wine or the sandwiches are. And then you connect with them, okay? But so when you do an invite to connect with anybody, do a personal one. "Hi, Joanne, lovely to speak to you. I have a golden rule where I connect and speak with people. I only connect with people I've met, spoken to, or engaged with in some point. And also I try and find a useful, common piece of content that they might actually find helpful, and I put it in the link to them." So let's look at how to create a five-star profile. I'm going to bring up my LinkedIn for you now. So here we go. We had a question from Rita, I think it was. Let me just let me just hide that. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. Okay, can you still, you still there? There you are. Excellent. Let me just pull this across. You should be able to still see the screen.
Yeah, we can see that.
Brilliant. So I'm going to go to my profile, but first, Rita, you had a question. How do you create an article? Really easy. You've got this button here, it says write article. You select who the appropriate person or group is, and there you go. That takes you into the article element so you can create your article. So 3 clicks, that's how you do it. So how to create a 5-star profile. For anybody new to LinkedIn, a 5-star profile will actually, they'll have a progress bar for you to show you your progress throughout creating it. But the first and foremost is a professional photo, okay? Not those duck pouty lips, not those photos from a million miles away, okay? Not those group shots, and definitely not your company logo. LinkedIn wants you to pretend to be a human being. So let's not pretend to be a company and try and have a human profile. Secondly, a LinkedIn banner. A lot of people don't have one of these for 2 reasons. 1, they have no design bone in their body. And 2, they don't know you could edit it. You can edit everything on LinkedIn that has the little blue pencil attached to it. So my freebie to you, to everybody on here, if you would like a branded LinkedIn banner, I can provide you one free of charge. Simply connect with me and say, Rich, give me my free banner, and I'll get one sorted for you and send it through to you within 48 hours.
Oh, that's the right takeaway, isn't it?
So profile photo and your banner. Next part, contact information. If you don't have contact information on there, how do you expect your potential clients to contact you? So put in here, you can put links to your website, testimonials, your address, contact details. You can even add in Twitter. So whenever you share on LinkedIn, you can share on Twitter at the same time. So you're getting a 2-for-1 deal. Then as we scroll down, we've got the About Us page. Use my About Us page as a template of how you should structure your content within the summary of who you are. Reason why mine is structured in this way, it's easy to read, not just on the desktop, but on the mobile as well. Because most people, the audience, are on mobile devices when looking at your LinkedIn. I've almost forgot one part then, actually. Underneath my name, it will show you what and how I help my clients. So if you've got solicitor, managing partner, senior partner, that tells me what your job role is. Doesn't tell me what you do. So put in there how you help your clients. Don't use something weird and wonderful like I create rainbows for my legal clients. That has absolutely no relevance whatsoever. Put in there what it is you do. If you're internal, put in there how you support the law firm in doing what you do. And then further down in my About Us, I've started putting some of my testimonials and some of the feedback that I've received over the years from various legal events. You've got this new element here called featured, where you can create featured posts and have them right at the top of your profile. So it gives them a kind of a spotlight. And then further down here, you have your experience. So including experience, if you've taken a sabbatical, put that in there. Nobody likes to see gaps in people's careers because they don't know what they've done or where they've gone. So put that in there. If you spent 6 weeks at McDonald's, don't worry, we can, push that aside. You spent 3 years at McDonald's, that's fine. And then lastly, right at the bottom is your recommendations. So to get to the 5th star, you need to get some recommendations. My golden rule with recommendations, only ask for a recommendation if you covered these 2 areas. 1, you've done a great job, not a good job, a great job with your clients. And 2, you know that they will say yes. Because if you've done an okay job and you're not sure if they'll say yes, the chances of them saying no to you are very high. And then the chances of them doing any further work with you are going to be slim to none because you've asked them for a recommendation. They've said no. They feel awkward. They probably won't do much work with you later down the line. So great job. And you know they're going to say yes. I always give more recommendations out than I receive. I kind of like to do that moving forward. That's my very quick overview of my 5-star profile. So let's just quickly recap. Branded banner and a nice profile photo, black and white like mine or full color, head and shoulder shot, no duck pouty faces, no shots from a million miles away. Check out my brother's one, Matthew Dibbins. He's got one of his sunglasses on and he's on a beach. Then you've got what your job title is, not what your job title is, what your job is that you work within the legal sector, your About Us page, structured with your core bullet points, and then further down the line, your previous experience and your recommendations. Now, if I just go back to, let's bring up my little slide deck.
Howard's asking, what's the audio symbol next to your name?
So the audio symbol next to my name is how my name is pronounced. So some people at the moment have the his, him, or there's one other, I can't remember what it is. But the audio symbol basically is me saying how you pronounce my name. So my name is Dibbins. Some people spell it D-I-B-B-E-N-S. So mine, I got Dibbins, D-I-B-B-I-N-S with an I, not an E. So if you have I don't want to say difficult, but if you have a name that people misspell or mispronounce, you can put your name in there, voice it, you basically record it, and it tells you, it basically will then go, if anybody clicks on it, they know how to pronounce your name. So it's a little feature that LinkedIn came up with. Building your connections. The best way to do this, and this is our little secret, engage with other people. Really easy, right? It really is. So if you want to build more connections and get more views of your posts, the only way is engagement. So to get engagement, it's really simple. Think of engagement as a podium. Bronze medal is minimal effort. You literally click like on a post and you carry on scrolling through the ether of LinkedIn. Silver is where you comment on a post. So it is social media. We're meant to be having engagement. And then the third one is sharing a post with some context to the post itself, where you're giving your professional opinion, tagging in the author and anybody else that you think would find this content useful as well. So I call that the bronze, silver, gold. Bronze being lazy, you click like, that's it. Lazy for like. Silver, just commenting on a post. And then gold, you're sharing, you're tagging, and you're starting engaging with other individuals as well. Engagement is the most important thing when it comes to LinkedIn, because without engagement, your posts won't go further. And if you don't get engagement within the first hour of LinkedIn, you probably won't get any engagement at all. So always structure your content. You don't have to worry about posting too much. It's more about the quality versus the quantity. So as I mentioned, I've got my freebies to you guys, will be the LinkedIn banner. But did you know there are 10 free features on LinkedIn? So these are a couple of the free features you can do. I've already mentioned one, which is your LinkedIn to Twitter. You can go to this, and within the account settings, you can add Twitter to your account. So when you share a post, you can click on the drop down, you can share to Twitter and LinkedIn. So 2 for 1. Polls are been around for about 2 years now. You can ask your clients or potential connections a question for up to 4 different responses, but with only 30 characters per response. But don't do too many polls because people get sick of them. And then LinkedIn Live, you can apply for this. And it's, if anybody's on Instagram, it's like stories, Instagram stories, but you can do a live video. So walking around, recording, great if you've got a charity event, recruitment drive, anything like that, but you can do LinkedIn Live. You need a bit of confidence when it comes to video, because some people do it, they might drop the phone or do something weird and wonderful. And then lastly, instant messaging. Now this is an obvious one because it's probably the most common feature on all social media channels. But the nice thing about LinkedIn, it has automated responses. Now, lawyers, you don't have a lot of time on your hands, and it's one thing we can't take back. So LinkedIn has automated responses to allow you to respond to people using one of the automated responses. So there's no excuse not to reply to somebody. Those are my LinkedIn tips for you. I've got plenty more on Staxton Digital. Just go to the LinkedIn service page. But most importantly, keep it social. Don't try and sell over social media. Nobody likes to be sold to. Keep it social, build your brand, build the engagement, and eventually you will be basically what we will call, the thought leader in your area. People will come to you for advice, come to you for questions, and start sharing your content further in the social media ether. That's everything from me, Lindsay, on
Thank you, Rich. And Rich came and did a little coaching session at Practical Vision, which is obviously the company of today's media. And oh my God, so many people have said their connections went through the roof, their profiles are so much better, and I can always see like so many more people like using all the tips that you said, commenting and adding in there, trying to create conversations with people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you want to tag somebody, you do the @ symbol and then type the name, and then it will appear. Hashtags are for keyword searches, so you can search what trending hashtags are in LinkedIn as well. Those are two very, very powerful tools.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, I'm just going to have a little look at the questions and just go back to the content side of it. Jane's asked, LinkedIn articles seem to get significantly less views than posts. Do you have a solution for this, please? I was going to talk about how, obviously I did mention this when I was speaking, but obviously if you've got a captivating headline, writing content that's engaging and useful for the reader is obviously going to get them to view it more. And also the way the article is formatted, if you break it up a little bit more so it's easier to read, people are going to stay there and view it really. Have you got anything to add to that, Rich?
Yeah, I would always use a snippet from it and share it within a post, and then put the link back to your LinkedIn article. The reason why people engage more with posts than articles is because they can't be bothered to go to the articles. It's that simple. We're individuals. We want to see the news as it is. So if I'm creating an article, I would always take a snippet and put it in my post, and anybody who engages with it, I go, well, here's the link to the rest of the article, with further details in it. And then that drives traffic over to it.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's some more questions for you, Rich, in there. Can you see the chat now?
Yeah. How do you get subtitles on your post? If this is a video, I would recommend recording a video which allows you to do a form of subtitles, or it will do the CC. I can never remember what the CC means, but I would always use a video, upload it to YouTube. You've got a YouTube channel. YouTube is a search engine. It's owned by Google. That will automatically put in the subtitles for you, but it's not a perfect system. It can mispronounce certain words as well. But that's what I would do. Can you link Instagram the same way as Twitter? No, but I would use a social media channel, a social media tool like Hootsuite or Content Cow, where Hootsuite's free for up to 3 profiles. So you could post on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. So you could do that actually. Would you recommend using Twitter to market law firm? Yeah, absolutely. It's a social media channel, over 900 million accounts on there, some really big law firms, some smaller law firms, creating niches within Twitter. That's the crucial bit, but not spreading yourself too thinly across all the social media channels. Being effective is the most important one. Do you have a view on the benefits of the creator mode? Creator mode in terms of LinkedIn, is that? The creator mode. Sorry, that's a question from Joe.
I haven't heard of creator mode myself.
Creator mode. If that's there's this new feature that's coming out where you can, I don't think it's reached the LinkedIn yet over here, but Joe, if you've got it, you're one of the lucky ones. This is where there's 3 new features that have come out to LinkedIn, where creator mode. There's also one where you can put a pitch within your video, within your profile as well. And then there's a third one, and that's just popped out of my head, Joe. But I'll look into that for you, Joe. If you connect with me on LinkedIn, I'll look into it and I'll come back to you.
I think above, Rich, did you cover that? Explain a bit more about hashtagging.
Yeah, so hashtags are what you can do. I'll quickly share my screen. What you can do is you can actually, if I just show you now. So over here, if I was to put hashtag conveyancing, and then what that will do is it will show me there are just under 3,500 followers on conveyancing. So if I was to do a post around conveyancing, if I was in my InfoTrack role, I would use that hashtag because I know it's got a huge following within it. Another one would be if I was looking at law firms, and I use hashtags. There we go, law firms. And then that would show me it's got 66,000. So research your hashtags. Don't just drop them straight into your content because you go, oh, I've done a hashtag for the sake of doing it. But if there isn't an audience for it, you won't get much engagement. So I always recommend the hashtags. Reason being, look, on this one, for example, Charlotte, here's my marketing course. Sorry, another shameless plug. It's aimed at law firms, and it's the top post within that hashtag that people are following. So anyone following that post or following that hashtag, they will get notified of this post, potentially within a certain time frame. Let me stop sharing that and see other questions. Where if you're saying you only get an hour to get engagement, is there a best time to post? Yes. So very good question. I get it a lot, Helen. First thing you do when you wake up in the morning is most people reach for their phone. I give my wife a wonderful kiss on the cheek. And then around lunchtime, we reach for these devil devices, and then dinner time. But everybody's social media channels will have certain peaks and troughs of when would be the best time to post. Only you will know that because it's your audience. But as a rule of thumb, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I always find is a relatively good time to post your content. Unless if you work with a certain audience that are on shift work, like my wife Claire is a nurse, you know, she's on social media in the evening, not while she's working, and she might share something at night. So if you work with nurses, you know, or night shift people, you might want to schedule a post for the evening. But using a social media tool, don't start working at 3 in the morning and sharing posts out. Look very odd and weird. Done the audio system. Okay, and then there's a question. Oh no, that was a thank you from Helen. No problem at all. I think
we're covered. I think we're covered there.
Yeah. Drives me daft when you get a spam pitch message. Absolutely, Jacqueline. It drives me mad as well. But I respond to them just to see if they're an automated system. And if I don't get a response within 1 week, I delete it. If I don't, and don't worry, it doesn't send them a notification to say you've deleted the invite or rejected them. You just go back into the pool of connections and they might invite you again. Never once have I had anybody go, oh, you deleted my invite in all the years I've been using LinkedIn. So you don't have to worry about that.
I think Jacqueline's also said she wakes up at 5:30. Should she wait till 7?
Should I wait till? Try it. Do a post at 7 a.m. Do a post at 9 o'clock. See how your audience engage with the two of them. I find around between 9:30 and 11:30, there's not a huge amount of engagement, purely because law firms are doing the work, kind of thing. There's even a bit of research around it where Tuesday is the best time to post on social media if you're outside of London, and on a Friday after 2:30 is the best time to post if you're based in London. Something about geography, something about the pubs opening, I don't know, but that's been a little bit of a rule that I've seen as well. If someone invites you to connect, how would you react? I would respond with 2 questions, really easy. 1, how did you find me on LinkedIn? Not how did you find me, but how did you find me on LinkedIn? And 2, what can I help you with? Those are 2 open questions they can't answer a yes or no with. They can only respond and they'll say, I saw a post that you were on, or I'm curious to know about X, Y, and Z. And I found you through a mutual friend or connection. So ask those 2 glowing questions. You want that text itself, so you can copy and paste it. Connect with me and I can send that through for you. Is Hootsuite any good to delay the pre-prepared post until a suitable looking time? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Social media tools out there, you can delay posts, you can block, set out all your posts as well. So managing the content is absolutely crucial. Social media hates predetermined posts with videos in, won't allow you to do this for profiles. So I always post videos on the day, like I've done today. But yeah, I always have a number of posts which are pre-scheduled, as well as reactive posts to anything that's within the legal world or the news or anything like that. I also do those types of posts.
And you can schedule any imagery to go with posts as well, can't you?
Absolutely, yeah. All those kind of things. Can I get a recording of this webinar, please?
Yeah. If you connect with me on LinkedIn, then there will be a recording on there. So yeah, I think I put my handle up in the chat. So
yep, and I popped mine on there as well. And thank you to all the people who invited me to connect.
I know my LinkedIn's going off now. It's going crazy.
And Rita, I think you asked the question about the training course. Unfortunately, it's not free, but it's incredibly cost effective. No need to ask how we found you. No, absolutely not.
Great.
No problem, Kim.
Well, I think the questions are wrapping up there. Just while we wrap up, if anybody has any ideas for these future content webinars, what you'd like to hear about, what you'd like to learn about, any topics that you're interested in, please just pop them in the chat just while we're wrapping up, just so it gives us ideas for what we can put forward for the future ones. So our next webinar will take place on the 24th of June, and I'll be exploring how you can maximize the value of your existing legal content. And I'll be joined by Tom Lees, Director of Engagement from Today's Media and Lawyer Checker, and in which we'll discuss this and give you some tips around how to add value to content. And an email will be coming to you to register for that next session. So thanks again, Rich, for joining us and sharing your knowledge and helping us in our digital marketing efforts as ever.
No problem. Kim, what is the poster saying? That one says Iron Man, and then the other one says, I'm out of bed and dressed. What more do you want? It's a Banksy picture, not an original. It's just a print, but yeah, I like those kind of posters.
Great.
Well, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, everybody. If everybody's checking if there's any more questions, just everyone saying thank you.
Excellent. Bye, Marcos. Bye to the people in France. Bye to the Australians in Newcastle.
Did we get Australians?
We had a good day, mate, from Newcastle upon Tyne.
Oh, right, okay.
Bye from Newport, KCT. Chris, thank you. Thank you, everybody. See you soon, and hopefully see you at a legal event in person as well.
Yeah. Oh, God, that's crazy, isn't it? Right, okay, well, people are dropping off now, so all there is to do is wrap up and say goodbye, and please come to our next webinar, which is on the 24th of June, as I mentioned, and connect with us, start chatting.
Absolutely.
Get on LinkedIn.
Very cool.
All right, thank you, Rich.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.